Soundstripe.
Welcome to the Regional Collective podcast. We're all about sharing stories of success, challenges, and the amazing community spirit in small and micro businesses. Here, we redefine small business with big hearts and determined hustle. Get ready to be inspired by regional entrepreneurs making a big impact. Whether you're just starting out or already on your business journey, you'll find motivation and practical tips to help you thrive. We believe in the power of community. So let's share, support, and celebrate regional businesses together. Tune in and get inspired to thrive. This week, we have a special session with Czanik, a cost accounting specialist who brings a wealth of knowledge. He shares his expertise in financial clarity, managing cash flow, and the crucial role of budgets for small businesses and startups. I'm excited to hear his practical tips to help you grow your business, boost your profits, and lead a sustainable business. So, welcome, Johan, today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
So you're here today to help discuss creating sustainable business models.
Yes.
Apt because it's at the end of financial year as well, a great time to be reviewing, our costings, our budgets, which we should be doing very regularly anyway. But can you tell us a bit about what led you to become a cost accounting specialist? A bit of your background.
A cost accounting specialist, yes. I never knew there was a word like that it's actually, it probably goes back a long way since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I wasn't really, my mum was a bookkeeper, my dad was an engineer. And every week they'll give us pocket money and, we all stand waiting for money and my sisters would grab the money and they'd run off straight to the deli to go and buy some sweets. Yeah. And I went back to my little piggy bank and said, all right, okay, now I've got, I don't know, like R2, which is not a lot of money. Yeah. But those days it was a lot of money, 2 South African rand. Yeah. And I said, okay, well, this, and I sort of like, not that I was a nerd or anything, I just put some money away and I thought, and then later in life, perhaps I realized, I perhaps got a natural ability to know what money and sort of like plan my money a little bit. Yeah. So I like that part. Yeah. And I didn't like accountancy at school.
Right.
No, I like maths and I like business economics.
Yeah.
And then when I finished school and we all had to go to the army in South Africa, so I went for 2 years and then after that, going to uni, I didn't know what to do. I thought, I always liked ads as well on TV, when they went and play their ads and it's funny, I like the humor around the advertising. Yeah. So I loved advertising, so I decided I'm going to study marketing. So I studied marketing. Long story, and I got a job in a bank, so I got involved with the finances and loans as well. So here I am, a 21-year-old, and people in their mid-40s would walk in and ask me for money, and and sort of, you would like fill in the application form and try to help them getting their loans. Or I spoke to business people as well, so you get an understanding of this guy
how money works.
How money works. This guy want to understand, do a business, but also, and then a couple of years later, then I decided, I'm going to go overseas, and I blew all my money. Yeah. And I came back and I had a job in advertising for a year as well. You probably don't need my whole story. Yeah, but anyway, and then I worked in advertising on buses. So I was there to sell like advertising space on buses, which was actually quite nice as well. Yeah. And then I got involved with another mate of mine who had an idea of starting a business, a media monitoring business. So basically what you do is you tape and record everything that on the media, and you would phone people up and say, hey, you were on TV last night, you want to buy a tape? Or you were on radio? And we do transcripts as well. Yeah. So we started a small company called MTTS, Media Transcription and Translation Services. Yeah. And then 2 other people was also running a similar kind of company in a few, we were in Pretoria, they were in Johannesburg, so we then joined forces and we started this company. So we were 4 directors of it, and everybody was sort of like came from a journalist background, And I was the guy with the bit of a financial background. So I said, I'll do the numbers. And I did the numbers, and I just liked the way that numbers then flew in, basically just like worked it and panned out as well. And I started using ratios and really understand that, you know, we've got to look at our costings to get better efficiencies. So that's why I got sort of like probably bullied into the accounting system. So I was never in a technical, you know, a qualified accountant until I decided in the early 2000s, well, perhaps it's time for a change in my life. Perhaps I was going to see what it's like living on another continent. All this obviously happened in South Africa.
So then
and then I want to come to Australia. I said, what can I be? You know, what is on there? You know, if I want to get permanent residence, no, you've got to be an accountant. Because that's sort of like the closest kind of, you either can come over as a business person, but then you've got to put a lot of money in and start your business here. Or you can show that you are very easily employable, like an accountant, for instance. And then I said, all right, and I'll do a bit of tax law, a bit of commercial law, and, you know, do a few subjects, and got my ticket to qualified as an accountant. And then I came here, and then I finished my CPA. So an accountant, but I never actually want to do like the nitty gritty tax stuff. It's probably not my spiel totally. I always like talking with business people. I love ideas. I like talk
and problem solving as well. I think that's what you're good at. Problem solving with numbers.
And I still like advertising and marketing, and I like talking to people coming to me with ideas. Hey, I've got this great idea. Is it got to stick? I say, okay, let's do it. Let's run it through my
I need to see it in
my sausage machine. You know, we put all the things in and see what comes out on the other side. This is all right. There's a market for it. The numbers adds up. You know. Give it time and you'll be a billionaire in 10 years, you know. So.
Well, and that's the fun thing, I think, as well, is being able to use the skills and that natural, you know, affinity that you have for numbers. But make sure it works for you as well to keep your interest up as well in that smaller or medium, you know, and even bigger business sense of that application as well.
Sometimes I work for a bigger business, you know, every now and again, you know, I might get involved with some sort of tender where you know you're involved with a big capital investment and you know do a bit of costings on the side, but usually it's smaller to medium-sized businesses that I'm involved. And as you know, because we're both part of the Regional Development Australia sort of suppliers list as well, the B2B program, business to business. We like working with small business owners around the area, and then I'm also involved with the Salisbury. Not a council specifically, it's a group called Polaris, and they would work. They are funded by the Salisbury Council, but they actually got quite big now, so they actually do a lot of extra work in South Australia. So I'm on the mentorship program and a specialist program as well to go out and help the smaller businesses in the area. With their financial management and their business planning and business modeling.
We know how important that is.
Yes.
As unsexy as it is sometimes.
It's not, numbers not very sexy, but hey, you can have a firm grasp for figures, eh?
That's it. So I guess why is financial clarity, so knowing those numbers, so crucial for small businesses and startups?
Well, think about an aeroplane. You know, you can't fly blind in an aeroplane. You need a navigation system. You need that clarity to
know where you're going.
Know what's ahead. You know, what we probably do a lot as accountants as well. We look at a back window and say, how was it last year? You know, but so often we forget, or we try, you know, to focus too much on the past and not on the future. But you need a clarity from stuff that you learned in the past.
Sort of from both, don't you?
As life
you can't let it hold you back, but you also need to acknowledge and improve or use it to make better decisions going forward.
That's right. And I always got to think like clarity is power. You know, I had
and gives confidence as well, doesn't it?
It gives you it gives you so much confidence if you know where you're going. You know, I mean, if you know, obviously we're a bit spoiled. I mean, I grew up in times when if you got to go be somewhere for a meeting, you got a map. And you say, all right, I'm gonna go to Shelley's place this morning. Where?
Yeah.
But now you're just like, boom, Siri, put in this number for me. You drive, but you got clarity. You know where you are. You know.
That's
so,
it. Yeah.
And you know what time will you be there.
That's it. You've got the calendar reminders. You've got the all of those.
Yes.
Things.
Yeah. I'm quite old school. I'm probably not using technology as I should use it totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great to use.
There's a lot that's available,
yes,
and I guess in following on from that, what sort of tools or practices can small businesses, use to achieve that clarity? Like what kind of what ways can they start to implement it? So it's not about you don't have to do it all at once, but to start to build in knowing their numbers.
Yeah, well, I guess what I start with, I'm pretty adamant that people's got to show me a budget, or sort of like ideas about a budget. It's almost, I wouldn't say I won't work with a person that hasn't got a budget, because that's my job, is to help people get a budget. But they have to understand that it's important to see what would the future be like, what if scenario. So that's obviously one of my tools as well. And then you look at your books, perhaps a lot of people that
operational costs.
The old scenarios. People go there with their shoebox full of receipts, and they go to their accountant at the end of the year and say, "Here you go, mate. It's all right. You charge me whatever you need to do. You just get my books up to
date."
But it's staying on top of your numbers, almost like on a weekly basis, do your reconciliations. Now, I'm not a bookkeeper, but there's a lot of help out there that people can actually put you in place.
And even tools like, the online the apps and the software, so like Xero, MyOb,
Recon account,
but thinking
Intuit,
and so there's, even though you might say, oh, I've got an accountant who does that, I've got a bookkeeper, it's like, you're actually responsible to know what's going on.
Do it yourself. It's so bloody easy these days, I mean,
but also because you learn as a business owner what's going on in your business.
You have to.
It keeps you connected, doesn't it?
That's right. If you don't reconcile, I mean, and obviously you probably know a lot of people can probably resonate with this. Is there's so much subscription sometimes that you pay every month.
That's it.
And if you do it like on a monthly basis, oh man, this bloody...
We're spending $200 on subscriptions.
Netflix, Stan, Disney, Amazon. What? You're sitting with all this stuff, and we've only got one night a week. We actually got time to sit down and watch a movie.
That's it.
Well, that's a household though, but as business is the same. If you stay on top of it, you actually you get in touch with things that you perhaps spend, and you can sit down. Is it necessary?
And that's
if you do it like every 3 months, only when bash time arrives, then then that 3 months worth of all the subscriptions that you didn't think about it went through.
But if you regularly review it, like we just had the other day, my husband was like, "What's this Adobe what's this Adobe subscription?" I went, "Oh, what is that still coming out?" Because I paid for a yearly one, but then under his thing he'd been paying monthly. So anyway, we've got to combine the two. Something to follow up, but we don't need to be spending $50 on the one app that we use. We just want to do the one that we've already paid for, So you can find lots of those little things sometimes, because they'll add up to big things.
Exactly.
And impacting cash flow as well. So I guess one of the biggest challenges for small and micro businesses is managing cash flow.
Cash, yes.
So what sort of common mistakes can you see, or what kind of strategies, and how can you manage cash flow properly? Like you talk about doing a budget. I've learned how to do a cash flow forecast as well, which is actually very helpful.
Nice.
But that's probably like a next step. It's something very keen to consider.
Cash flow is a bit like, I mean, cash flow on itself is not a problem. Cash flow is basically just the symptoms. By that time you've got a nasty cough and you go to the doctor and say, I got this nasty cough, please give me something to take it away for you. and
but the infection's already there.
But it's already there. It's something that could have prevented, you know, as like we always say, you know, perhaps if you exercise more, you eat more healthy, or you sleep better, or whatever, or you go out in the mornings. You know, some people talk about, you know, the first thing in the morning you do is you get some sunlight in your eyes, or whatever. So all that kind of stuff. And okay, I mean, you know, medicine is medicine, but it could have been prevented. And it's the same with cash flow as well. Is perhaps try to see what can you do in your business to you know and know. Well,
some of those signs.
I'm probably digressing a bit because you know I'm talking here about health stuff, but from a business point of view, is a lot of people say, but if people don't pay me, and that's why I've got cash flow. I think it's sort of like that's an issue, but the biggest problem I see in businesses is not being on top of the gross profit margin. Now, the gross profit margin, as we would know, is your sales, for instance. I'm talking about sort of more of a manufacturing, people that manufacture products. And a lot of our kind of clients in the RDA as well, who's you know, who's makers, and this business called makers and merchants. So you make. So you got to understand what is the cost that you put in to make that product. What is your direct labor attributing to the cost? So then you got your costing, your sales, and then you got your gross profit margin, or your gross profit, and then your margin would be your gross profit over your pricing. That will give you a margin as well. So find that sweet spot.
It's not just I buy it for $5 and I sell it for $10, so I get $5.
It's not. A lot of people, and that's what I say. A lot of people always say, you know, and then turnover is for vanity. But profit is for sanity. You know, so you want to go out there and you want to make sure that you make a profit. Now, coming back to that is where the whole profitability scenario comes back into, and it's gonna eat away on your cash if you don't make enough gross. You know, it's gross profit. Obviously, we've got overheads. You know, you're perhaps a small manufacturing. You're manufacturing skincare or leather products or whatever, But that's the direct cost, and then you got to pay your electricity and your rent, and you know you got to perhaps a car and a couple of bit of machinery that you're paying off as well. But it's your gross profit that's pretty much a big indicator. Of your cash flow problem, and a lot of people, and you see it a lot with perhaps tradies. Now, tradies are not out there to have a go at you, but you know, people will probably like do a job and not. You know, a guy might come here to fix your you know, piping in your kitchen or whatever, and say, no worries, Charles, I'll send you an invoice, you know. And 2 weeks later, you haven't seen the invoice yet, and you phone this bloke and say, are you going to see me? No worries. I've just been flat out, man, like a lizard drinking, you know. Like, never get around to seeing you, and eventually at the end of the month he goes and I've done that job for Charles, I better send an invoice, and then he gives you another 2 weeks to pay, which is great. It's great for you.
That's it, but it's been 6 weeks.
It's been 6 weeks since he actually got his money, and he's probably bought some equipment as well before that time. You know, he knows he's got to go to Shelley 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, I'm going to go to. But hey, I'm going to go to Mitra 10. I'm going to buy a few pipes and a few plugs or whatever, and a bit of tape. So I've spent like, you know, $50 worth of materials. So now. You're only going to get that $50 back, plus then your time that you spend, or your $50 is going to take you 2 months to get it. You understand what I'm getting at? And that's a big thing. And then obviously the third thing is people are not being tough with their people that owes them money. You know, you got to be tough. You know,
because it's that leniency. Sorry, we just got a little person. Or tree.
We've got a little small entrepreneur coming in, running in here.
Sit here with Mum. It's okay.
Right.
We can cut that bit out. But sorry.
I was, and then people owe you money. Make sure that you know
that little bit of leniency turns into a lot more leniency.
You know? If you say fair enough, I'll give you 2 weeks to pay this, and 2 weeks come, and 2 weeks goes, and then. I'm probably not going to bother paying this, you know. They're probably busy. But then that 2 weeks becomes 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks, and all right, I'll just pick up phone. I'll phone you on. You listen. Yeah, oh shit, so sorry, man, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sitting with me. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So that is, and then obviously, and there's also, according to statistics, I don't know exactly what the statistics, but a lot of companies might look profitable on their books, but they
cash
are
flow negative.
cash flow negative. And so a lot of people are actually profitable, but they still go bust. They still go bankrupt because of cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So, can you go and see Dad? Hi.
Yeah.
Daddy's coming to get you. He's got what? Chocolate. You go see. We'll be finished in a little bit.
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
That's it.
Yeah. So where were we? Yeah. So it's all it's a cash flow is a big indicator as well. You know.
As well as gross profit margin.
Gross profit margin is the thing. You're probably going to ask me about later, but you know, I always say, you know, you got to be patient about growth. You know, you've got a lot of time to grow your business.
Yeah. A lot of people do want a quick win, but
it's
about small things consistently builds and it goes exponential, doesn't it?
Make sure you got your things in line and in place first. You know, before
as a foundation.
Yeah, because growth takes money. You know, it's, you know, you got to buy new machines and you got to perhaps employ people to help you grow before you get your return.
That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
So my next question was talking about budgeting, but how can small businesses create and stick to a budget that supports their growth?
Okay, so following on that point as well, so stick to a budget that supports your growth. So make sure you've obviously found. I would say make sure you found your niche or basically what's going to stick. So make sure you know this product is
what you want to do. Yeah, and it's profitable and it's going to get you towards your goals.
That's right. Yeah. And then as I say, be patient with growth, but be impatient with profit. From the start, make sure that you know it's all right. You know, there's a lot of other companies but they're bigger companies. But your company, make sure. You know, I'm gonna make pillows. All right. And this is my pillow. It's going to cost me $10 in labor. It's going to cost me $20 in materials. So it's going to cost me $30. But I got to know my margin on that is going to be 50%.
Yes.
So I got to sell this for $60. This pillow. You know? So I've got to.
And knowing those gives you that.
Even if I just make 2 pillows a day. Or sell 5 pillows a week. It's okay. It's okay, but get that fundamentals right. That's why, and then and then you can start leveraging. Then you can start growing. And that's why I say, you know, the budget is.
And like you said, be impatient with profit because, you know, we probably go, oh, that's okay. Most businesses don't make a profit in the first couple of years.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine, but, you know.
Yeah, I'm sort of probably talking about your gross profit. We understand we've got overheads.
Yes.
You know, you can't pay your overheads if you make 5 pillows a week.
But if you have a budget, then you can say, well, we can see that with 6 months of us, you know, in operation, that turns into.
That's right. Then you can start modeling it out and say, what if scenarios, or what if I buy a machine that makes 10 times more things, and I can actually use some digital marketing and social media and you know, get some email marketing going. I can triple my turnover. And one of
my things that I've put into my budget as well is after 6 months I look at what's my expected income or sales, and then my marketing budget that I'll put towards Facebook ads and things will be 10% of that. So it's always proportionate to the sales that I'm seeing, so that I can keep a cap on it, because it is sometimes I'm going to spend $1,000 and I'm going to get so many sales. Like, well, maybe you won't, because you wouldn't have built that organic growth, but I want it to be proportionate to just because I want slow and steady growth, you know, and it's understanding what you want to get out of your business as well.
And you can then you can start playing around. You throw your spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. Because you know, Facebook advertising might work for you. It's probably not working for me.
Yeah.
You know, TikTok might work for a guy, you know, selling fancy kind of shoes or whatever, but it's not going to work for a guy that's selling life insurance, for instance. So
and that's it, finding and working out where best to spend
spend your money. But it's only going to work once you get it funded. Did we actually stick to that question? Because
was about elements.
Yeah, the budget.
I guess how can you create and stick to a budget? So I think it's putting in the key components of a budget, but then also
sticking to a budget is monitoring. Because Peter Drucker is a guy who wrote a book or a lot of business books back in the early 20th century. He said if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So now that you got your budget. Make sure that you measure against it every month.
And it's okay if it doesn't meet those expectations because of circumstances or whatever, but keep looking at it, keep reviewing it, keep adapting. Because if you push it to the side, there's going to be a big surprise either way.
And a lot of people say, I don't want to look at my numbers because I don't want bad news. But it's all right. It's only
better to know where you're at than where you're going.
It's worse than 3 months later. The bank managers phone you say, sorry mate, we've got to pull stumps. It's like.
And that's it. So it's and keeping it simple as well. You might say, I'm not making very many things, or I'm only a small business, but it's still operate as if you are a big business, which is have a budget, know what your costs are, know what your margins are to be, or what they need to be.
Yes.
And then you can also see a bit like in winemaking. So my previous life was you might taste a wine and go, something's not right here. The numbers confirm. The numbers can help you confirm what's going on or dig deeper into what's going on. So that's sort of where the numbers are so important to know, no matter what size, because it can help you identify where.
Yeah, because technically you're a scientist, as a winemaker.
That's it, and where's.
And you tweak it the whole time.
And even though in a business, I think we're going okay, but there might not be something quite right. By having a really good handle on your numbers, you'll be more quickly to go, do you know what, we're actually not making as good a margin as I thought we were, or this is, if I've suddenly gone to wholesale a lot more, you may be, that can change the outlay of things. So having a budget as a base can then help you do some of those modelling scenarios. So, well, what if I wanted to just do wholesale or not retail, or those sorts of different things, can't it? So,
that's right. And that's going to have a major influence on your margin as well, because if you decide you're going to sell direct, just put your stuff on Shopify. That means all the margin. Okay, you pay a bit of commission for Shopify, but all the the whole margin comes to you. But all right, I'm going to sell my products and I'm going to use it to a retail store. You gotta give some of your margin away.
That's it.
But you might have a lot of more traction through a retail shop. So you understand, and that's probably where it comes back into what kind of business model that you're going to have that's going to stick to you as well. And what's going to work for you.
Excellent. And so looking at sustainable business models, what can, I guess, some key things that startups can ensure they can have as part of their model to, again, be a business in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? Some key things to consider.
Well, I guess, there's a lot of people that say, they're afraid for, I'm just digressing a little bit, people get invited to go to a network session. They say, I'm a bit scared going there because everybody's going to say, so Johan, tell me about your business model.
What do you do?
what the fuck? What is it? That's what, I know it's not Joe Rogan, but we're not swearing on this podcast.
I can swear. Okay.
You say, what is my business model? But I think, the plain idea about a business model, it's not complicated. It's just something that technically it's something that's going to work for you in terms of that it's a 2 S's. It's got to be scalable and it's got to be saleable, basically. Not that you want to, if you started a business, it's your baby and you want to treasure it, you want to protect it, and so I'm going to sell it in 5 years' time. I'm going to be sad. But you basically got to start your business with the idea to
what
be
you-
able to sell it.
Yeah.
And that's where budgets and forecasting, because it can give you, and then if you interlink it with your balance sheet as well, which is a bit more technical stuff, and we're not going to go to this podcast now.
Yeah.
People can listen to my show
That's
for
what I was
that.
gonna say, send you on to
But
that.
then you can see how it fits into a balance sheet and what is the worth of the company. So
Yes.
it's all about the scalability and the saleability of your business, and technically what is your business, and how to build this sustainable thing is, again, coming back to my previous answers, almost is like, what's going to stick for you? Where's my customers? Where, I might go retail. I'm not getting that bigger margin that I would have got if I got straight online, but I get a better traction for my clients. My clients are perhaps people like to go to the co-op store here in Newry. As you
scale though, you go, I know I can make more, I'm guaranteed more, so I can order a bigger quantity of stock, for example, which can then drive down your unit price, which then can impact. So you've got some benefits to
economies of scale.
Economies of scale,
where the economies of scale comes and fit in.
And you kind of and you want to know have that in mind. I had a question.
So your question was, how do you build a sustainable business model?
Well, I think so the key components.
The key component is make sure it's going to work for you. It's sort of like in line with your vision, in line with your values, perhaps. And that's perhaps another topic as well. And then make sure you understand. And then as you as a winemaker would know, you keep on tweaking it. Every day you go and you take your wine out of the barrel and you throw it in the glass and you have a sniff and now I'm gonna
keep tweaking it as it evolves.
Keep tweaking it. I don't know what winemakers does. Do you put a lot of extra sulfur and shit?
It's a secret. That could be another show.
It could be interesting. So you might look at it. So from a winemaking point of view, you might taste it and you go, do you know what, that oak doesn't match the profile of the wine and where it's at. We actually need to change it out because you have different ages of oak, different types of oak. So you might say, brand new American oak isn't doing anything for this. We're going to take it out. We'll put it into some older French oak. So but you make those changes then and there. You don't wait until after 3 years of maturation and go, oh shit, it was in the wrong oak the whole time, because then you'll have not as good a wine as you could have had. So it's like it's like a story I heard back in South Africa. This guy was making ballpoint pens, and then he went to the retail shop and say, here you go, we'll package it nicely and put it on the ground and we sell it for 50 cents a pen. And then the retailer said, that's all right, and display it, and it didn't sell for 50 cents a pen. So what the owner of the business then done, he took everything out of the packages and put them all in a glass bar. And it says 99 cents each. And then it sold like hotcakes. So you just changed your model. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the product. So you've doubled the price, and you don't have to worry about packaging. You're just putting it there, looking like, wow, that's a bargain, 99 cents.
And it's testing those things.
Testing
out,
that market. So tweaking that business model,
and having something that you can. That you can be agile with. So I think going and as a business model, not being stuck in one way of thinking as well. So we've we sort of have looked a bit about that agile thinking and resilience as well. Going, okay, we've got some setbacks, things haven't worked. But you really, almost like a muscle as a business owner, you learn how to deal with it, move on, problem solve, tweak, try something else. It's a strength that you'll grow to have, I think, because there's nothing worse than things not working out and you've put your heart and soul into it. But but that's where having people like you to look at things from another point of view, which is really looking at the that cost analysis, the budgets and that profitability. I think is a really good resource for and partner for people who are in business. And we're just sort of saying that nobody has to know all of those things because that's your area of expertise. But we want a really good foundation as a responsibility for a business owner, don't we?
Yes.
And in that way we know how to drive our own car, ship, into whichever direction we want to go in. So, but just wanted also to tell us about your podcast. So, Your Number Man.
Your Number Man, yes.
And what can listeners expect, and how can it help them on their journey?
Well, I guess, I've recorded 12 episodes, probably
awesome.
12 episodes. I've done my series 1, so I've started with series 2, and it's great. So the first, I sort of like try to match it up with guests as well. So I've got interesting guests on there. Some we're talking about a bit about mindset as well. And then I had a guest who's is a business mentor as well, and people with small businesses comes in and inspire us, and what did they do, where did they start, and how did they try, and they went broke but they start again. So it's that kind of mix. But then also I do a few solo episodes of myself, which is probably more boring, but I actually do get a lot of traction, because the people, the people, I try to get guests in that everybody's got a story to tell. So the boring stuff is the numbers, but I actually do get a little bit of decent traction on that as well, where I sit down and say, this is the business fundamentals, this is your financial fund, and so you go into your profit and loss. How many people out there perhaps, we understand what a profit, but we understand how a profit and loss actually gives you drive in the business. Your gross your gross profit margin. Where's your overheads coming? How can you basically then understand what key performance indicators, or KPIs as we like to talk to them, what key performance indicators is going to work on my business? How many people have you got in your business that actually drives the business? So,
but delving into those things,
you talk about pricing strategies and budgets and forecasting. So that was series 1. Now series 2, I'm probably gonna focus a bit more on modeling, like what's in the future, like what if scenarios. What if I got my business to this stage and now I want to, I have to either spend $200,000 to buy this fancy machine, but I can double my turnover, but my gross profit is going to go down. Is it worth it? How do I do a cost benefit analysis? How do I leverage over time to pay off that machine as few as possible? And you get debt in business. A lot of us sit with debt in business. What is good debt and what is bad debt? And how do you always leverage it or gear it for that matter? So we'll talk about it. And I love my guests. I'm trying this season. I'm going to try and get a tax accountant in there, that somebody's going to talk about like capital gains and your GST and your fringe benefit tax, all that kind of stuff. That's a little bit, but stuff that sits. I'm going to talk to another accountant about financial strategy, business strategy, and then people with interesting stories and.
But I think also you're putting that spin, and we were talking about before of making sure that we talk more about this as business owners.
Oh, we have to,
because there's there is sometimes shame in not understanding it, or embarrassment, or. Not wanting to seem greedy to talk about the money side of things, and then to please pay me for the thing that I love to make, and then I've got but building confidence in people to be able to
and as you can see, people your listener or your viewers can see we are normal people in business
sitting in the front now.
But And we're all in business to, probably make a profit. But profit is not a dirty word. No. Profit is your sustainability. It is something that it is there for you to
continue
keep on
to do
growing,
what you're doing.
And we fuel the economy with our profits. We supply employment. We help the regions.
Yes. Well, you think of how many small businesses there are in each region, and you think of if we can make all of those small, micro, medium businesses be sustainable business models that are profitable.
Small
and contributing to their regions and communities.
Small business is so important. So important for today's for the region specifically. We don't want to
We don't want to be relying on
Yeah.
external and overseas.
corporate, I don't know, the money's going to stay in Australia. It's going to stay in your region if you've got a regional business,
That's it, yeah.
You're going to buy at Woolies, I don't know, how much money is going out of the country.
Yeah.
Go to your farmers market, people.
That's right.
Go and buy,
And that's
buy local stuff.
Go buy it from the source. And that goes, that keeps that kind of closed circuit sort of economy, doesn't it? And that means it's sustainable. And if there's any, I guess, piece of advice for every small business owner, there's no pressure, to take away, what would it be? Financially,
okay. Well, I've said it before. It's like stay on top of your numbers.
Yeah.
Clarity. Work on your costing system. Be confident with your costings. Be confident. You can walk into somewhere and say, I'm charging you $60 for this pillow.
Yeah.
And not, I think $60 is too much. I'm not sure what my costing is actually. Be confident and your business. Be confident what you sell and understand the business. Understand your interests, and also have fun in your business. It's not all gloom and boom.
No. There's a reason why lots of people do it. It's because there's lots of highs. And we want to mitigate and manage the lows.
And the numbers are not usually the fun side. But it is fun to sit down and
especially if you're in control.
If you build a puzzle and you get an idea how it's going to look, or you sit down and you clip out, you take a travel magazine, you clip, I want to go to Africa, I want to go and see the elephants, and I want to go to see the pyramids, and you put them all on a wishboard.
To put a vision out there,
it's fun, it's great. So do the same with your numbers, play around, say, well, if I get my profit margin right here, it's vision,
it could be exponential, or
it's going to be, it's going to be fun. And I mean, we all like to dream. It's not just about dreaming, but be realistic. There will be hard work. How much your life is the business, and your business is your life. We are small business owners, but we have to find a way to
make it enjoyable.
Otherwise,
why do we do it?
And if it doesn't work, so what? You've learned a lot. Then don't go sulk.
No.
Just like dust yourself off. Have you got music on this podcast? Can we bring in the Rocky music?
Something like Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. You get fall down and you get up again. You get bumped, you fall down. But you're gonna get a lucky shot in at the end, and you're gonna.
You'll make it.
You'll come out on top, Keep that eye of the tiger.
I will do that. But no, awesome. So thank you so much, Johan, for all of your insights. And look forward to talking about finance again soon.
Yes.
Because you're our numbers man. So.
That's right.
But and encourage people to have a listen to your number man on the podcast. We'll pop a link in as well. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.